Hello, my name is Irvin Manchester. I'm a Sonic fan, specifically of the Set AM variant. Now, my love for Set AM was wide. I love the comics from Archie, which, now that I think about it, were very set. Of course, I would have always tuned in on Saturday mornings to watch it, but that was years ago. Of course, I will never touch Set AM again after what was to happen, which came in the form of a little video graphic game known as Sonic Epoch. I did not love the game, nor did I care for it, but it was sadly the only Set AM game that existed as far as my knowledge knows. This video graphic game was only the start, as I received a special edition from my associate one day. His name was Fred. The disc which he had sent had blood on it. I brushed it off as wind. Inspecting further, there was a note that read, and I quote, "Dude, don't play this game, dude! Throw it in the trash while you can! He's too evil!" My immediate reaction to this was to ignore it, as I pondered that whatever happened was complete bullshit, because there was no possible way that Fred had gotten harmed. I decided to sit down on my computer and pop the disc in. The game had started, and immediately it had seemed off. The graphics were so unbearably set, it had reeked. The characters on the screen were all pre-rendered. Sonic looked scared. Next to him was that city Tall Tales from the original Sonic Epoch. He too had a horrified look. The letters on the title screen read, "Sonic Epoch Special Edit," in a rather rusted-looking manner. Clearly, Fred's bitch ass was playing a prank on me. However, I soon learned he was not. I had booted up the game, only to be met with a poorly cropped Sonic in front of a city screenshotted picture of Robotropolis. Sonic moved with I, J, K, and L. This was absolutely abysmal. Sonic's walking animation was just him turning around, and his jumping animation was just a blue ball. The gameplay was far different from the original Sonic Epoch, instead being closer to the classic Sonic games. The enemies were strangely not SWAT bots. Instead, they were textures of Robotnik from the OG game, but almost bent to fit the shape of SWAT bots. When destroying them, they exploded into blood. I thought to myself, cool, and continued on. Eventually, the level stopped for a moment. Then I heard evil laughter. Almost in a flash, the buildings in the background looked desolate and destroyed. The sky was red and blood covered the floor. Sonic looked ugly now, like really ugly. His face was disgusting. The Robotnik enemies were still the same. Once the level was complete, a strange black figure appeared behind Sonic. The figure's hand grew in size and crushed Sonic before raising the fist from the ground displaying blood. I don't know how I would have described the realism of the blood though. Once Sonic was killed, it had booted me through the screen, and lo and behold, it was the city-ass no-way recolored theme from the OG game. But this time, it was different. The words above read, "I am evil." Everybody was normal, then a bit of static appeared. Suddenly Sonic was a corpse on the ground. Now Robotnik had blood on his mouth, eyes, top of his head, gloves, and his eyes were black with red glowing pupils. But I didn't know how to describe the blood on Robotnik. It's almost as if it was hyper-realistic. Suddenly Robotnik began to speak. He held a sinister smile. "Hello, my name is Evil Epoch Guy. Tell me, do you want to know how evil I am?" I nodded for some fucking reason. It was the worst mistake I'd made so far. Robotnik rocked up to the screen and showcased Sonic's head, before the screen turned to static. Next up was the weird Tall Tales guy from the OG game. Now the background was an awful name by the way, just pointed that out. The enemies were this time Mobians, but they had dark black and red eyes, with orange mustaches covered in blood. In the background was corpses hanging from trees, spikes on the ground lined with animal heads. Tall Tales had gone through the level. However, the level was boring as shit because it was just flat ground with the occasional enemy. Once Tails had gotten to the end of the level, a timer started up, to which I heard the words, "Run, run, run!" You will outrun my evil hands. Then I directed Tall Tales right. He was running, of course. Behind him was the slowly creeping Evil Epoch guy. It sent a shiver down my timber. Evil Epoch guy eventually caught up with Tall Tales before he ground-pounded Tall Tales into a cutscene. So then the animated cutscene started with all its crisp pixels. It showed the ground pound causing an explosion that scattered Tall Tales' remains everywhere. Evil Epoch guy then laughed as he stared at the camera. There are new challenges for me. Soon I'll friggin' kill you, Irvin. Then it was back to gameplay. This time it was the City Knuckle Shally theme. Now we were back at Robotropolis, which was even worse than before, but there was no gameplay. Instead it was Knuckle Shally in the control room with Evil Epoch guy. They started to talk. Well, even is the non-dank Sally, what brings you to my evil sauce abode?
I've come for the protection of this innocent middle-aged man you keep traumatizing.
Your words hold no weight, silly. This is my world, and things will go my way. Then something happened which I did not expect. A fucking Dragon Ball Z fight. Evil Epoch guy, which I will be abbreviating to EEG, which is not egg, surprisingly, and quite frankly pisses me off now that I realize. EEG teleported behind KS, touching them with a pinky, causing them to fly out of the building. EEG flew at KS, dragging them across the outside wall of a building. KS then punched EEG off before firing a bolt at them. EEG dodged the bolt before teleporting and doing a spin kick to KS, sending them into the ground below. KS then uppercut EEG into a sign, before EEG flew back and attempted to grab KS. KS slapped EEG away before EEG knocked KS into the sky with a touch. While in the sky, they charged up a singular punch that sent a shockwave through Robotropolis, destroying multiple buildings and roads. EEG teleported behind KS before flying them to the ground, causing a nuclear fucking explosion. I genuinely didn't know how the fuck they were doing this on a Sonic Epoch disc. Apparently from exchanges, EEG stated that they were in the Sonic universe. How? I did not question it. EEG flew the pure speed at which he was going, said buildings crashing towards KS's direction. KS got pummeled by the buildings before charging up, sending the debris flying in all directions. EEG did what he looked to be a spin dash, and then the collapse caused a massive shockwave that caused Robotropolis to explode. I was stunned. What the fuck? I yelled. Just then, the dust settled, showing Evil Epoch guy stepping on the corpse of Knuckle Shally. Looks like I won. Suddenly, a screen of Evil Epoch guy appeared. It spelled, I am evil. Just then, Evil Epoch guy flew into my screen and actually almost destroyed my fucking room. The glass flew in the air as my computer was clearly destroyed. Evil Epoch guy flew into the kitchen and obliterated my mother. Then he had a sick-ass pose and my dad exploded. I kneeled on the floor as I had just witnessed an edgy robotic OC kill my fucking parents. Just then, Evil Epoch guy teleported behind me, pushing my face against his tablet. Oh, it was a fate worse than death. He forced me to read reference sheets of thousands of his city OCs. I had to bear witness to the worst fan comics that the human race could ever lay their eyes upon. Once that was done, Evil Epoch guy laughed and slowly disappeared, as I laid on the ground, crying and pissing and sitting. He truly was an Evil Epoch guy.